How old's the actress?
28. I don't know. Oh, wait, no, she was born the year I was, so 32.
So she could still be in here.
Yeah,
She's not an old lady yet.
No. And we have old ladies in the movie.
Yeah.
Gail.
Hey.
And motherfucking action, bitches. Welcome to the podcast where a guy that watches movies all the time discusses movies with another guy that watches movies all the time. Oh, man. So, what day did you see this movie?
I saw it yesterday. You watched it Thursday, right?
I watched it Thursday, Friday, today. Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
And I just watched it Friday. And oh fuck, I just spaced.
The backstory of your watching.
Oh yeah,
You made
yeah.
a day out of it, right?
Yeah, I'm talking to this girl and we watched Scream 1. We actually watched Scream 1 on Wednesday. And then
Okay, cool.
like Wednesday
cool.
night, and then
Oh, yeah.
we watched 2 and 3. We did not have time for 4 because I got to her house late. And then we went to the theaters and watched 5. But having watched it with somebody that I introduced to the series made me feel like the guy that watches movies. Because if you think about it, we've talked about this movie or this franchise on camera for about 6 hours.
Yeah, this is the first franchise that we've completed.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is going to complete it.
And it's cool, too, because I didn't like horror films
You
that
hate
much.
this. Yeah, this turned you into a horror guy.
Yeah.
Like, you might have to be on me and Daryl's Carnage Candy podcast.
I'd be
that I wanna
down.
do.
It would be fun.
Like,
But,
you're going to be a guest.
it's-
Permanent guest.
It's nice being a guy now that watches horror movies and then being able to introduce somebody else to a series that you introduced me to.
Oh, yeah.
It feels cool. And before we go too much into this movie in particular, that leads me to a question I wanted to ask.
That's right.
I'm sure we've talked about, but I forget the answer to.
Okay.
What does the Scream franchise mean to you?
Oh, my fucking God. This movie got me in... it isn't my first horror movie that I've ever watched that would go to Child's Play, but it's definitely the movie that turned me into a horror fucking freak. This movie was played in my VHS. Me and my sister watched it. I don't even know how many times. I was watching it yesterday, actually. I quoted the entire film.
Wait, which
Easily.
one? The
One-
first?
One. I could probably quote the second one too. But I quoted the entire first one, and I'm like, dude, this movie is just too much for me. Scream has... I usually change my favorite horror movie from time to time, and for a while it was The Shining, but The Shining is more of a best. I think it's the best horror movie, where I say Scream would be my favorite.
Like the one that's most meaningful to
Yeah,
you?
it is my favorite horror film, and the franchise is my favorite franchise.
I
It's
think
my
that's
favorite.
really like, it's cool how this movie kind of, I think it would mean a similar thing to us, but in a different way, where it's also my first like real movie that's turning me into a horror guy.
For sure.
But we experience it at different points in life. And,
I started watching it when it came out.
So you'll have more youthful attachment to it
Oh,
that I
yeah.
don't have yet. But
Yeah,
it's
for sure.
I was thinking about like on my way home from having watched it, dropped her back off at home, and on my way back to my house, thinking like, one day we're gonna be sitting on a podcast like 6 years from now and in October, and like I'm just gonna think I would not still be doing Spooktober. I would not give a fuck about these scary movies if
it wasn't for Scream.
Yeah, if we
man.
didn't watch Scream.
And a lot of people, that's a lot of people's story. You're not the only one. This film has inspired not only countless people to love horror, but it also has inspired a lot of movies.
Which is interesting.
Like
'cause it's a
Happy
movie
Death
that
Day.
seems inspired
and,
by
like,
other
yeah,
movies.
for sure. So if you guys didn't notice, we watched the new Scream movie that came out. That is just called what?
Scream.
Yeah, for sure.
I was going on a tangent about it before the movie even started. I'm like, they just called it
We've
Scream.
been talking about
Yeah.
this a lot.
They could have called it Scream 5. Like you
For
said,
sure.
they could have used a 5 for the S.
Yep.
And so I was like,
Why not?
The thing I was thinking about it was, will 2, 3, and 4 be canon to the universe still? Or will it be a requel, kind of like how Halloween was,
I just thought it was going to be 5. Straight up. I just thought the reason why I was pissed about it, I literally just thought it was going to be 5 because I knew the cast was coming back. And I knew it was going to be a part of the ongoing story. I just thought that they just made it called Scream to fit what everybody else is doing.
Which they kind of did.
They did, but they did it in a Scream way.
Yeah.
They did it meta way. They did it because it's now self-aware, so they have to, like, call it a requel in the film, which is fucking phenomenal.
Yeah,
which was phenomenal. I was so surprised.
I believe it was Randy's niece, right? That's his niece and nephew.
Yeah, his niece and nephew. Their mom is in Scream 3.
I think
she shows them the tape.
Yeah.
I liked her coming back.
When I saw her,
didn't
I thought it
expect
was
that
cool
to happen.
too.
I didn't expect that.
Me neither. It was not
I was
on
like,
my radar.
Okay,
and then to have kids that were like relevant to the
plot.
show,
Yeah,
too,
they always bring Randy back.
which is good because
Like,
it sucked that he was killed.
I think that's their biggest regret. I know Wes and Kevin didn't work on this, but I still think that, like, Randy's the character that shouldn't have died. You know what I mean? Because they keep fulfilling that role every single time, and they keep bringing him back in some way. It's just they really didn't want to kill
him every
random.
time.
Yeah, we all miss him. It's just like,
who else would they have though? There were 4 people that survived that.
the first one, yeah.
And it's like the movies would not have been the same if we lost any of the other characters. His role was the only role probably that could be replaced, which is weird because he's such a unique character.
Yeah,
but
that's true too. Oh man, so the first scene. I know you didn't want to do a play-by-play, but it's not a Scream movie with the first kill scene or kill scene.
Yeah, that's something I want to talk about too.
Yeah, for sure. The actress gets a phone call. Literally, the first sound you hear is
the phone ringing,
which is great. That's always great because the first one, I think that's the first thing you hear.
Mm-hmm.
And I do think it's weird that they have a landline in their house.
Yeah.
It's 2021, and I just don't think, like, they're going to have to move away from the landlines here soon. Like,
yeah.
They're going to have to, like, go to strictly cell phones next time, I feel like. They should have did it this time. Because
that's a question I have. Do you think there's a next time for sure?
I don't know. I hope so. I don't want it to end that way.
Me neither. They left it open in a lot of different...
They left it open for sure, but I would understand if they just left it at 5 too. It could go either way for me. I'd be okay with it ending this way, but I'd also be hyped if another one was announced, you know?
I think that's fair. I want more. I really want more.
But Jenna Ortega is the actress that plays Tara. She's from the show You, which is a great show. That's what I know her from. And she's in that new movie I was just talking about in the preview. She was in it in the preview. Yeah, X with Kid Cutters. But her acting's phenomenal. When you first hear the Charlie guy talking, I didn't know if it was the killer or not because it kind of sounded like
the
him,
voice was a little
but
different,
he wasn't being like, what's your favorite scary movie yet?
Yeah.
So I didn't know what to think, and then when it started getting a little bit like weird, I was like, this is definitely him. And I was like, this is perfect. And I was just feeling it for sure. And he did the play on Amber. Like this Ghostface are strategic at like where people are going to go. Because he knew that Tara was going to try and save Amber. So he like blocked her or waited at the door and just started slashing her.
Yeah.
Which was cool. It was suspenseful. It was classic, but it was new too with the whole technology thing, with the door, the app, the smart home type thing going on.
Oh, dude. So, there are spoilers in this.
Oh yeah,
by the
for
way,
sure.
for those
if you haven't
watching.
seen this
So
movie,
I'm giving you about 2 seconds to leave because I'm about to say big stuff right away that is interesting to me.
Huge stuff.
Where I thought at first, right, when the trailers and stuff played and they showed clips from this scene, I was like, oh, so Ghostface is like a hacker now. And he wasn't at all.
Yeah.
It just Ghostface was her best friend.
Right.
And so I feel like her friend probably just had access to her unlock code or something.
Possibly.
And
possibly, yeah, for sure. Amber claimed in the beginning that her phone was cloned. I don't know if that was actually legit. It had to be legit because the police would have investigated Amber in the first place, like, because it came from her phone. So they would have investigated her. So they would have had to have legitly cloned her phone. And I don't know if they did that to throw it off, but I'm going to say this right now. I was not surprised at who the killers were at all. 0%, actually. I was a little upset about that.
I think that I wouldn't say I was not surprised about Amber. I, at one point, was thinking it's either Amber or Randy's niece.
Right.
It felt like one of them two was it. But I didn't really think about the boyfriend, and I only thought it was between those two towards, like, the party scene. But
okay.
The thing that
they did kind of suss me out.
They kind of threw Amber and the what's the other girl protagonist's name? The sister,
Tara,
Billy's daughter.
Oh, I forget her name.
Sam. It was Sam.
Samantha.
So,
yeah.
Sam's boyfriend. I did not suspect him at all because Dewey kind of made it seem like it wasn't him with how he threw him under the bus so quick.
Yeah, for sure.
And it was the same for Amber, where because her phone was like hacked for it, it made it feel like it wasn't her. And so I feel like they kind of made it obvious who it was in a way that kind of threw me off from who it was. Like, that's too obvious. Why would it be them?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And then when they hit me with it, it's like, that was so obvious that it couldn't have been them, but now it is them.
Yeah.
And I was fine with it.
You were fine with it?
I also think there's maybe a chance there was a third. That's a spot where I feel
that would have been fucking cool. I was thinking about that. I was like, what if there's 3 of these motherfuckers?
The reason I'm thinking there could possibly still be a third, if they do another movie, it could be unveiled that there was, because the scene where Amber was being stalked by the killer.
Yeah.
It couldn't have just been the phone, like, set outside recording her.
Yeah.
Because there was a knife in hand and movement.
Oh,
so, like,
shit.
implying someone would be there. But Sam and her boyfriend were still far away. They were in whatever other town they were in.
Okay.
At least that I think. Because it was the night before she got attacked. He was still at his job. He could have driven all the way there and driven back, I guess. I don't know the distance between locations. But there's just a chance there's a third to me.
That would be interesting. That would be so fucking cool. Because there was one time, I was thinking that, like, every single time after the first time I watched it, so twice. The part where Randy's nephew is getting stabbed, right? And it's not Richie?
Yeah, he's in the car.
It's not Richie. He's in the car. And as soon as Tara, they all get out, and as soon as Tara gets in the house, Amber's there. Amber greets her right away, literally right when she gets in the house. So there's no way Amber started cutting him, went to a safe location where no one would see, undress, and then go in the house and then greet Tara.
And cleaned all the blood and shit off her, too.
Yeah. So that is possible that we could be dealing with, like, an unknown killer that could lead to a 6th one. That, not only would that be really fucking cool, but that would play in the meta of a sequel making an original even better. Or a sequel of a requel making a requel even better. Like how Halloween Kills kind of made 2018 Halloween a little bit better. Mm-hmm. That would be pretty fucking cool. I thought about it, how cool it would be to be 3 killers, but I never suspected that it was going to happen. And that would have been really cool. And
still could be really cool.
Other things that we didn't think about. So there's a part where Richie is doing research, watching the Stab movies on Netflix, and like he's watching a podcast on them on Stab 8.
Yeah.
And those 2 people are actually podcasters.
Mm-hmm.
They're horror podcasters, part of the biggest horror podcast that there is, called the Dead Meat Podcast.
Yeah.
And it's based on the channel Dead Meat, where this guy counts kills in films, in horror films.
Oh,
but they also, him and his wife also, or girlfriend, whatever she is, they have a podcast too.
And that's the podcast?
And it's not, the name of the YouTube channel wasn't the same as the podcast. It was just them playing podcasters kind of thing. And it was great seeing them. I freaked out. I was
That's
like,
a really
shit.
cool cameo.
It is. It was really cool. I was really excited to see them. But at the bottom of the YouTube page, in the info, in the description, you all got to check those descriptions. Apparently, it says also interview survivor Kirby. And I forget Kirby's last name. So I think the girl that played Hayden, or the girl that Hayden played Kirby, the girl with the short hair, survived.
I'm trying to think about
because there was
died.
a big theory online that she died. She was in in Scream 4. She
got stabbed by the guy that she had a little interest
into.
in outside, right?
And the last
she went to untie him from the thing, and then
and the last scene of her is her moving or like breathing. So like maybe they just suspected her dead. There's a big theory online that she actually didn't die, and that was kind of confirming that she didn't. There was like a little.
That's really cool.
That is really cool. I didn't notice that. I didn't even see it.
So that actually answered a question I had.
Time.
Stab 8 is Scream 4, right? Because
no, Stab 8 is a completely new one.
I thought that so when we watched 4 though, Scream
it was on 8.
Yeah. So no. Scream 1, 2, and 3 are Stab 1, 2, and 3. But during Scream 4, they were on Stab 7. Which means within the universe at 4, 7 is the only one that exists, which made me think 8 was based on 4.
But then they started talking about it in the podcast and said that it was completely irrelevant to everything, and they were just pissed off at it.
That's what I wanted to ask you about. How was 4 perceived by the diehard fan at the time that it came out?
Considering I didn't watch it as soon as it came out, I don't really know. I just know that it's mostly perceived as a really, really good movie and a really underrated movie. I just really like 4. And I think it's weird that that they did do it on 8, because then what story would have been 4? Because the way they were talking about 8, they were like, oh, it's irrelevant, it's nothing like it, and they were even showing clips of it, and it made I was like, what the fuck did they do? That's weird.
I thought that 8 was 4 because I don't see where else it would fit otherwise.
That's what I'm saying, but they also acted like 8 was like a irrelevant version. Yeah.
They were shitting on it a lot.
Yeah.
I even have written down in my phone, like, do
that
people
is
not
a
like 4? I like 4 a lot.
I think they've like fucked up so much on this stab shit that they don't even know. Like, it's gotten so out of hand. Which is fine. I understand. I can't follow it, and I don't expect anybody else to be able to follow it, not even the people that make the movies. That was crazy. We see some casts come back. Of course, we see Neve Campbell, Courtney Cox, and my man David Arquette, Dewey Riley.
I almost cried, actually.
Yeah, well, we're going to miss you, buddy. That was a scene, man.
It hurt me. It literally, I wanted to cry. I started like changing my breathing patterns to focus on it, so I didn't tear up in the fucking theater.
It was a sad moment.
That shit, and you knew it was happening too. The second he turns back around, like, Dewey, you've been through this.
Yeah, you know better, bro.
And then the fact that it's a Gale phone call that
that was rough. That was so rough.
The
died
dynamic,
like a pussy.
Their dynamic pissed me off though. How they didn't. I feel like I need more explanation on what happened between Dewey and Gale.
We didn't get much of it. All we really got was that we saw in Scream 4 that she tried to live at Woodsboro. Couldn't.
Apparently they went to New York, I believe.
He tried to live in New York for 2 months. Couldn't. Left in the middle of the night, and I guess
never talked to her again. And like, that just, it hurt me.
Because nothing was really... They didn't really break up because of like differences, other than the big difference that they can't. One is a big city person and one is like a rural person.
Woodsboro specifically.
Yeah, Woodsboro.
One thing that I at first, right after thinking about it, was really upset that they would kill off Dewey, and I was It was hard for me to think of another character they could have, though.
Yeah, if they're going to kill one of the big three, we know it's going to be Dewey.
And I felt like one of the three had to die this time, too, because they've gone too long. They went 3 and 4 without losing a main character.
Yeah, that's true.
And so I feel like it had to happen, and I was upset it was Dewey because I love Dewey.
Yeah, we love him.
What I like about the fact that they did it, even though I don't like that he's gone, and I feel like if there's another movie, I'm going to be upset he's not in it, but I like that it made me feel.
Yeah, for sure. It was definitely an emotional.
I wasn't attached to these new characters. The killing of them didn't hurt, but killing somebody that I've seen a lot of screen time with and like I really enjoy, it made me feel something, and I think if a film can do that, whether it's positive or negative emotion,
definitely good. Yeah,
the fact that it makes you feel is a pro overall for the movie to me.
Yeah, I definitely don't have a problem with that part. I don't have a problem with almost any parts in particular. I just thought it was weird that Amber got back to the house so quickly. So there might be a third killer, and I think that'd be cool to bring Kirby back into Scream. I don't know what they're going to call it. Scream Kills.
That would be cool.
Right.
Also, this was the first time they referred to the killer as Ghostface.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
You weren't a fan?
I wasn't a fan because they said it a lot. But I get why they did it because it's kind of like a meta thing.
Time has passed so much now
that they actually have a name for him. I get that, but we've gone so long without calling him that. They didn't call him Ghostface in 4?
No.
Okay. And they did it a lot in this one. Like, they emphasized it. Ghostface is back. Like, I actually didn't like
I wonder if they call him that in the Stab series.
Maybe. I don't think they're actually real movies that have been developed. It'd be cool if they were, though.
Even if they aren't, then they're still, like, technically canon to the storyline. So they hypothetically exist, and I wonder if in those hypothetical films, if they refer to it as Ghostface. They always say him, too, but I think there's been a female killer.
Almost every
60%?
time except 3.
No, 3 did have.
Oh, yeah, 1 didn't. 3 didn't.
1 did not. It was 2 men.
Yeah.
2
did. Billy's mother.
I thought that was 3.
That's 2. 3 is the one, the Hollywood one.
Yeah.
3 is Roman.
Yeah, and
4 had
was
Emma
it
Roberts.
only Roman?
Yeah.
So there was a time where there wasn't multiple.
Yep.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah, for sure.
So
really
it went
like
2
this
2
one.
1 2 2, possibly 3.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh.
So the kills in this one.
They were fucking brutal.
They were, right?
That shit.
Stabbing is a brutal action, and almost none of the movies have shown. Scream 4 might have shown like actual kills of like throats being slit and like showed guts and people getting their head shot off, but it didn't. Not a lot of movies show the actual like what stabbing looks like.
This did it a lot.
This one did it every chance that it could, and it is such a brutal thing to watch. It's almost like traumatic to watch. Like
it was crazy.
Yeah.
One of the things I like this was, I don't know if I'm correct in this assertion, but I think for the most part in Scream, right, there's a lot of times where you have that scene where someone goes to get stabbed and they grab the arm and they're resisting it.
Yeah, that happened a lot in this one.
It did, but the thing that I liked about it in this one that I don't think I've seen in the others is the killer knows what to do at that point. He uses his other hand, slams down on it, and just fucking offs him.
Yeah.
And he did that like 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, he did it with Wes, the kid from 13 Reasons Why, with the blonde highlights or whatever. That was a crazy-ass kill.
His name, I thought it was cool how they paid homage to Craven, and I also thought it was cool that I knew that's what they were doing.
Hell yeah.
That's not something I would typically pick up on in a movie,
Yeah,
but the fact
like,
that we've talked about him before.
Yeah, Wes Craven, we miss you, man.
Also, after rewatching 1, there was a janitor dressed like Freddy.
Yeah, that's Wes. That was actually Wes.
Oh.
That was Wes Craven. I think we've talked about. I don't know if we've talked about it before.
We probably did, but I picked up on it when viewing it that time. And was like, oh, there he
that's
is.
Wes,
I thought that was really
and
cool.
And they called him Fred.
Yeah,
it was Fred. Fucking kids.
Yes, I think that it was cool how they paid homage to him by giving him a character that gets fucking massacred.
Oh my god, that neck, man! I thought, you know what I thought was gonna end that scene? I thought he was gonna rip out his neck.
Oh,
that's what I thought was gonna happen, and then it was gonna go to another scene.
Oh,
I was like,
I'm
oh
glad
my
they
God,
didn't.
don't do it. Don't do it.
I thought the sticky note on the fridge was cute.
The lemon squares
Yeah,
from 4.
yeah.
I was like, oh, no one wants those.
Also, the scene where Sam pulls up to the crime scene, and Gail was there. And Gail's like, "Did you know the sheriff?" And she's like, "She didn't like me too much." And Gail's like, "Me neither."
Yeah, she did.
I like that scene a lot.
Yeah, I'm surprised that Deputy or now Sheriff Hicks didn't try to make the woos on Dewey now that they're not together anymore.
Yeah, that's true too.
'Cause I feel like I got that like.
I
vibe.
don't think Dewey would have allowed it.
Yeah,
like,
probably
maybe she
not.
did try in the
Dewey
past.
did great in this movie, man. David Arquette fucking killed.
He
this
didn't have
movie.
the as much of the limp in the hand. I think they
Yeah, he
overemphasized his hand in 2, and in the rest of them, it was kind of better. It was weird.
I mean, there's a lot of time that's passed.
Yeah, he
So
might have
maybe
got
he's
it
worked
fixed.
on it. You don't know. But I think he did great. Gail, I think it would have. I understand why they didn't put Sydney in it as much as they did the other ones, because
They're
this is
passing the
supposed to
torch,
be a
kinda.
requel. Yeah, this is supposed to be a requel where they explained it in basically the scene where they're all together and explaining the rules and things that they do in Scream films, and
Where they tell you
they're,
what's about
they're
to happen.
explaining
Basically.
the requel meta and shit. The meta whodunits. That's what we called it last time. That's the first time it's ever been called whodunit, which was cool because that's what
They
we were
must have
talking
been
about
listening to
last
the
time. Yeah, right.
podcast.
Thanks, guys. But they start saying requels are meant to continue the story and have it as a reboot, but also a sequel to satisfy old fans and make it a reboot to satisfy new fans at the same time.
Which I think they did.
That is
Like,
what they did. It was super meta in that aspect, and it was really cool to pull off in a world where meta isn't meta anymore, because it's like we know all the tricks and stuff, but that was probably the best way to do it. And if you think about it, in the first one, we all love the first one, but the second one did like the sequel meta, and the third one did the trilogy meta. 4 did the remake meta. And this one did the requel meta. And I liked how they continued that vibe onto this one.
In regards to them picking up, like, doing the requel meta, I thought it was interesting that it feels like a requel follows some of the same rules of a sequel while still being different. Like, it felt...
Half sequel, half remake.
Yeah,
or half sequel, half reboot.
There felt like a lot of ties to 2 in particular to me. Like,
Really?
like the fact that we lost the main character.
Yeah,
Where
for
we
sure.
hadn't in 3 and 4.
Like Randy.
The killers in 2. That was the mom and
the mom
something
and
else,
Mickey.
right?
Yeah.
The killers didn't really have much homage.
I
paid
really
to.
liked the girl that played Amber's charisma. I thought she was a good killer.
Yeah.
Like at the end, like
When
even
we
in
know
Stu's
she's a
house,
killer.
which was amazing, by the way. Like it looks, not exactly the same. Obviously, they have flat screens and shit, but like the house is looking great.
the structure of it is
Yeah,
really
it's
similar.
looking great, and the whole kitchen scene was a big. It might have been too meta. Like too clever and too homage to the first one, because they almost tried to recreate the first kitchen scene at the end.
But they explained that they were doing it also.
Yeah, true. I like the part where Amber calls Neve Jamie Lee.
Yeah.
That was really cool.
And Jamie Lee is the girl from Halloween, but
Yeah.
she was also the first one to get killed, right? In one of the screams, or no?
No,
Or
that
did I
was
just
Drew
pull it?
Barrymore.
Oh, yeah.
Neve
And-
Campbell's always been the final girl for this movie. So, honestly, Neve Campbell, Sidney Prescott is my number one final girl. She's better than Jamie Lee, I think.
I've
She's
not
great.
seen much of Jamie Lee besides like the OG Halloween
and the newer ones.
Oh yeah, she's the old lady, right?
Yeah, the newer ones.
Yeah, I liked her daughter more than her in the newer ones.
Did you?
Yeah, I liked her character a lot.
She's into H2O and Resurrection. She's not even in all of them. There's like a big gap where Jamie Lee's not even in the Halloween. But the kills were super brutal. The story was pretty cool. I like Samantha. She's cool. Tara's cool. I like the new.
What was your thought on the
I like
Billy's daughter being? existing.
They always try to do some kind of weird Maury family tie into the films, and I don't know how I felt about that. It was okay, I guess. They just keep doing it, and eventually these family trees are going to die off, and you're not going to be able to do this shit anymore unless they make Samantha the new Sidney Prescott, and she's just going to be in like all of them after this. But I'll live with it. I'm just sick of everyone having some kind of family tie-in to the kill.
They mentioned that they had to do that in a requel, though, right, to keep the old fans interested.
Yeah, but there were other people that were tied in. There was Samantha. There was the two that the nephew and niece of Randy, and then there was
Wes. Was tied to the girl from 4 at least.
Yeah, kinda. They said that. They were like, yeah, but she's not that big of a character, so.
Yeah. But the thing that I was thinking about in regards to Billy being her father, I'm interested in the timeline of her conception and if there's a way to figure that out, because I don't know how long Billy and Sid were together.
Sidney, probably.
There's nothing in 1 that clearly indicates that, right? It's never been mentioned that he cheated.
No, but there was no mention of it.
There is the fact that he's clearly horny and crazy,
clearly impatient,
and she was not putting out.
And they dated for a long time.
Do we know how long?
At least before when Sydney's mom died, because he said they started out hot and heavy, and then her mom died.
So at least a year, because
probably
Scream.
2 years.
Scream was the anniversary of the
mother's
year.
death.
Yeah, so at least a year for sure. And Sam is 23. Do we know how old Sid was in 1?
No, probably 17.
Were they in high school?
They were seniors, yeah. Because the next year they were in college.
And do we know how old Sid would be now?
No.
Because
it's 25 years after the fact.
And
it's 25 years. So
I feel, wait, that might not work. Because Sam is 23. This is 25 years after 1, and Billy was...
Did they say Sam was 23 years old?
She's 5 years older than Tara, and Tara just turned 18.
Yeah, so that doesn't work?
Yeah, because if this is 25 years ago, the killing occurred of... If Scream 1 occurred 25 years before this, then that would imply that Billy lived at least 2 years longer to have a kid.
Yeah.
So either my timeline could be messed up. I might be saying something
Let
incorrectly.
us know in the comments.
That might be like an important thing.
Plot hole,
yeah. Because that could be a big error, or it could be like foreshadowing something.
He's dead. It was good seeing Skeet Ulrich again.
Yeah, I thought it was crazy when I saw him on screen.
It was actually him, but they CGI'd him to make him look younger.
How old is he now?
He's like 40, at least.
When I went to the bathroom after this movie was finished, right?
Yeah.
I'm washing my hands, and there are some people in there washing their hands. I asked this one guy if he liked the movie. He said no, which I thought was crazy. I thought maybe he didn't watch the others. I asked if he watched the others. He's like, yeah, I just didn't like this one that much. And
really?
But everyone's allowed to have their opinion on
sure.
it. I wish he would have enjoyed it more because I enjoyed it. I wish he could enjoy it like I did.
Too.
But he had a good question. He left me with this final thought. He said, do you think she kills again? Because she was like resisting the urge to kill because she knew she's a fucking serial killer's daughter.
She was taking medicine, dude.
And then she eventually snaps and she stabs the fuck out of that
guy. Yeah, I wanted
guy.
to talk about that. Okay, there are times in this movie where when they were talking about when they're outside the hospital, Sam, Gale, and Sydney, and like Sydney and Gale are like, yeah, you shouldn't leave, you know?
Yeah.
Sam goes, so you want me to kill someone? You want me to commit murder with someone that is a you and a talk show host or a TV anchor or whatever? And they're like, yeah. The thing is, when Amber says, she puts her hands up. Amber stops and puts her hands up and is unarmed, and they shoot her. That is actual murder. The threat is over. Like, they actually do murder Amber.
Good, though.
Like, it might be manslaughter, technically, because they're in a threatening situation, But the threat is like if someone holds their hands up, I don't think you're allowed to shoot them.
I'm doing it anyways. I'll say their hands weren't up.
Yeah, they
Like,
probably could
fuck
do
that.
something like that.
Gail's kind of the news. She reports that shit.
Yeah, she is. How do you think your girl looked?
That I think she was like, I guess, fine in this one.
Yeah.
But that makes me think of something that I think would be a fun video to do.
Okay.
Is a ranking of how attractive Gail is on each film.
On each film.
Because I
That's
think
funny.
she's in her prime in 2.
Yeah, for sure. She's definitely in her prime in 2.
3 it would have been if it wasn't for like the bangs. That she
Everyone
was just
talks about
long
these
hair.
bangs online, I think.
I don't
A
like
lot of
them.
people talk about it.
But oh my god, in 2 that she's fine, dude.
Yeah. She's just older now.
But her hair was perfect in this one. Her hair
Yeah.
in 5 is what I wish it would have been in 3.
Yeah, fair
It's
enough.
the same thing without the bangs.
For sure. That
And-
works.
But for her age, she's bad. Find me a woman that age that's as attractive as her.
I didn't find this cast as interesting as they were kind of almost all throwaways. I would be okay if all of them died. I wouldn't be upset about it. I
want Randy's niece to live. I like.
Yeah, she
her.
was cool. She was totally cool.
She felt like a Randy, but kind of a cooler Randy.
Yeah, that's true. She was kind of a
maybe
smoother,
like that Kirby
cooler
girl. Kind of
Kirby
like
was
her.
awesome. I liked Kirby.
That's
a
the
lot.
girl from 4, right?
Yeah, I like the forecast a lot
Randy's
more than this one.
Niece kind of was reminiscent of her to me
Yeah.
a little bit, where she's like the movie geek, but she's not really undercover movie
Yeah.
geek, more so movie geek, but also just like a cool person. Like,
For sure.
Like the scene where someone asked her what she was going to be doing or something, and she's like, I'm going to watch this, and I'm probably going to make a move on this girl.
Yeah,
And then like
I'm gonna
whoever
watch
it was
my uncle
left.
get killed.
Yeah, and then the girl just comes over and they just start fooling around it. She is like fucking smooth.
Yeah,
and cool,
she is. She
but
knows what she
also
wants.
Randy.
Yeah, she's also like a movie. I don't know if she was a movie geek, but she definitely liked movies and knew she was aware of what meta was and the rules and stuff. I don't know if Randy inspired her for that or what, but
I'm sure.
it was pretty cool. I just think the cast was a little bit
What
of
about the girlfriend? What was your
throwaway.
thoughts on her? The
girlfriend?
Randy's nephew's girl. The girl with like purple streaks in her hair.
She was okay. I
She-
guess I didn't really care about
I
her.
suspected her as the killer for a little bit.
I actually thought it was Amber from the jump. I didn't. I guess the boyfriend surprised me a little bit because I think that shit was a little played. Like the love interest thing was a little played.
To the point where you wouldn't guess it. It's so
yeah,
simple
yeah.
that
That's probably what it was. Like I was like, oh, that's so played that they're probably not going to do it, and then they did it. But I
think they met on Reddit, which was
that was cool.
interesting to
That was
me.
cool that they met on Reddit. It was just weird. Who found out that? Was it him that found? Was it her that found out that her mom her mom gave birth to Billy Loomis's kid? Was it Amber that found out and then met him on Reddit and then they did it?
Wait.
Or did he find out, contact Amber, and then they started doing it? I guess Amber found out because she said it's a small town and your mom's a drunk.
Yeah.
So she probably said something or something. I don't know. It's weird that we didn't see her mom.
Yeah,
That was
I
odd.
get why we didn't. I think they said that she was like in England or something on business, and
something like that.
it also seems to have been expressed in a couple ways that their mom was kind of neglectful. Like by the fact that they weren't surprised she didn't come, you could tell it's something they're used to.
Okay.
I
I think, speaking of, I really, really enjoyed how good the costume looked in this one. Like the whole ghost face, it looked like they spent a lot of money on them.
I'll be honest, it kind of looked the same to me. I
Dude,
didn't really
watch them
notice it was
again,
much
dude.
different.
Watch them again. The first one looks like the actual one that you go and buy in a Halloween store. It looks bad, actually. Go and watch them.
I just watched them. I don't
Go
want to watch
wa-
them again.
You have to. I'm on like 2 or 3. I'm watching them again. I'm on like 2 or 3. I don't remember which one.
I've watched in the past 3 days. We watched.
You didn't watch 4.
What day did we watch 4? Because we like just did that.
Yeah, probably Friday.
Really? Like this Friday?
Yeah. Oh no. Actually, no. Wednesday. No.
Yeah, it was.
Was it Wednesday?
At least we talked about it Wednesday, I think.
We talked about it so maybe it was Tuesday.
So
we watched it.
Yeah, because we
Tuesday,
watched it Tuesday, and then we reviewed it Wednesday.
Then I edited
and
it.
then
Thursday
that
and Friday.
night I watched 1, and then a day later I watched 2, 3. So I've watched all 5 of them this week.
Yeah.
And
I just think
4 again
Ghostface
soon.
looked perfect in this one. There's times the more newer it gets, the better he looks. So
And he has a button on his suit now for the voice instead of having to hold something.
Yeah,
that was
that's
cool.
probably smart.
Future.
Yeah, they didn't use that stupid voice changer in 3. That shit was dumb. That shit's not possible. But I liked it. I liked the movie. I liked how good Ghostface looked. I liked the cast came back. I think we should have saw. I wish. One thing I thought was weird is that this time the Ghostface didn't actually go for Sydney.
She wasn't the target.
Yeah, like if Sydney didn't go out of her way and then go out there, she probably wouldn't have even been in the movie. She probably wouldn't have even been there at all. But like,
do you think that's part of the passing of the torch type thing, where she's now not the focus?
Yeah, probably. Like, I just wish I would have saw her a little more. At least be targeted a little bit. But she was just there trying to be like, okay, this is happening again. I guess we got to get rid of this or I won't be able to sleep at night type of thing.
And, yeah, because she mentioned that with her kids on this earth, she can't
She had kids. That's
let
crazy.
that thing exist.
There were like newborns too.
Was it with the detective from 3?
I don't think so.
Who's the dad?
His name was Mark. She said Mark. Or Dewey said Mark.
So
she said she'll keep him. So I don't think we've ever met this person before.
Dang.
But I do. Wait, what is Detective Kincaid's first name?
I have no idea.
We should look that up, but I'm not sure. Mark, is it Mark Kincaid?
Y'all know in the comments.
Yeah.
Let us know, and
let's
we'll
bring
look it up
Kirby back
eventually.
in 6 too. That would be cool.
How old is she now?
Hayden or Kirby? She was a senior in 4, so 24.
Well, how old's the actress?
28. I don't know. Oh wait, no, she was born the year I was, so 32.
So she could still be in here.
Yeah,
She's not an old lady yet.
Nope. And we have old ladies in the movie.
Yeah.
Gail.
Hey.
I think
That
they all
woman
looked
don't
good.
crack.
Dewey looked the best.
Which is weird because he also looked the worst because he was supposed to.
Yeah, because his life was kind of like bleh. They forced him to retire and shit.
They really had to kill him.
Yep, they did. One had to go. We'll miss you, Dewey. This is for Dewey and Wes.
Mainly Dewey. Mainly Dewey.
Right.
Because we just saw that they could make a Scream movie without Wes. No offense, my man.
Yeah, can they make a Scream movie without Dewey Riley? That's a good question. We'll see. Maybe.
Hopefully we'll see.
I feel like we will. There's money to be made, you know?
Yeah, there's cash on the table.
For sure.
Also, this was the first one I got to see in theaters.
Yeah.
And all I could think about was 2.
Yeah.
I was like,
to get stabbed.
am
in
I
theater.
going to die? Like,
I saw 3. I've only seen, I think I only saw 3, maybe 2. I don't remember. It was a long time ago. I definitely saw 3. I remember that.
seeing 2 in theaters seems like the most meta thing you can do.
Right. See a theater, movie theater, in a theater.
Oh, speaking of
dying
meta-ness,
in a theater.
the scene where I feel like they've recreated this scene a couple times in the movie in the series where they're watching Stab 1 and it's the scene with Randy going, he's right behind you, behind you. But this time the girl turned around.
Yep, she did. She was like, oh shit, am I going to do the same dumb shit that he
But
does?
it's interesting because they were in that, weren't they watching Halloween during Scream 1?
Yeah.
And
they
so
were watching Halloween.
it's
and his
interesting-
name was Jamie. So he said, turn around, Jamie. And
So-
she was behind, and the killer was behind Jamie.
We were watching a film where the girl's watching a film based on a film we've already watched where Randy's watching a film. It was just,
And that's her uncle.
yeah, it's just so much. And I really enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it too. I'm probably going to give it a 4.
I don't know if it's a 4 or 5 for me. This was close to maybe being my favorite Scream movie.
Oh, wow. Really?
It's at least second place.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's either this and then one or one and then this.
Wow.
I think it's still one and then this.
Yeah.
But I liked this movie
That's crazy.
a lot.
I didn't know you liked it that much.
Dude, I loved it.
I loved it too. I just don't think it was as good as 4.
Really?
Yeah. I like 4 a lot.
I really enjoyed 4, but
I feel like you should watch 4 again.
I'm gonna soon.
Yeah, 4 is really good.
But
I'm definitely giving this one a 4 out of 5.
I think I'll agree on 4 out of 5. Did I give Scream 1 a 5?
Yeah, I think you did. You gave
feel
1
like
and 2. I think you gave 2 a 5 too. You like 2 a lot. I think 2 is definitely ranked
Now
second.
having watched them all,
It's
like,
been
in
a
week.
while. Yeah, you watched 2.
I've watched them all this week. I've watched the entire
We'll
franchise
do a
this
ranking
week.
video. We'll talk about it.
ASAP. Yeah, because that would be a really fun one.
I mean, we
to
could do it right now.
We could.
Yeah.
During this podcast right
No,
now?
like push stop. And,
Oh, yeah.
but
So
4 out of 5.
All right, well,
Guys, go see
I'm
it.
giving this a 4 also.
Oh,
I'll
did
stop-
you get your poster?
No.
Oh, you didn't go to Regal. Or was it a Regal?
No, it wasn't.
It wasn't?
You got a poster?
Yeah, Regal has posters up. You can go pull in and take it. They're just out.
Damn, I'm getting one then.
Yeah,
That's
go get
insane.
one.
Fuck yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
But yeah, guys, go see Scream.
yeah, if you haven't seen it and you watched all
get-
this, I'm glad you watched it, but you're also crazy.
Yeah.
And now go watch the movie and love
Like,
it.
subscribe, comment.
A toodaloo.
Toodaloo bloop.